Welcome to Clarity Practice Management Release 15. In this short video, I will show you the changes to the firm side of Clarity Practice Management. We have created a separate video explaining the changes to the client side of Clarity Practice Management. As you will see on the client side, the changes are quite extensive. The first thing I want to show you on the firm side is how to find the new release notes. The way you do that is you click on the question mark in the bottom right of the screen. Then you go to knowledge base at the bottom, roll down till you find releases, click on release, and then click on version 15.0 release notes. And you can see the changes that we've made in release 15. And I'll be going through all of these except for the client portal side, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. If you want to get out of the release notes, click on the little X down at the bottom. The next thing I want to show you are the changes that we've made to managing files. So to do that, I will call up my client Daddy Shark. So when I open up the client Daddy Shark, I'm going to go over to files. And the first thing I'd like you to note is that there is only now one folder tab for files instead of multiple folder tabs. We also now have an Explorer tree on the left, so I can go from files from our firm to internal files. I can even scroll into projects and I can see files that are listed on individual open projects. So if I click on that, you can see that I have internal files, files from the firm, and files from the client. So what I'm going to do is I'll keep that 2019 open. And next, I'm going to show you how to move a file. So I'm going to go to this from the firm files, and I'm going to select the file. Then I'm going to click on the Move Selected button. And now you can see I get a window that lets me move it to any of the tabs for the client files or any project. So I can move files between projects. So if you have a situation where a client posts a bunch of files to the wrong project, you can now fix that. So I'm going to move that file to the internal files. And then very important, I have to click in the checkbox to confirm that I really want to do this. So then I click the move file. And if I now go to internal files, you can now see that that file is there. What I want to show you next is how this shows up on a project. We have most of the same functionality. So I'm going to call up project for Daddy Shark, and I'll call up that 2019 one again. Note again that we only have one folder tab for files where we used to have three. We used to have an internal files, we used to have a files from your firm, and we had a files from the client. Now note that we only have one, but that screen, that folder tab is subdivided into three areas. So you still have the from your firm, from the client, and internal files, and it still works the same way. Again, we can move files the same way. So if I want to select a couple files to move, hit the move selected. Now, the thing I would like you to note is that you cannot move files between projects here. You actually have to do that from the client record. So in this case, I'm going to move it to the files from firm, click on confirm again, move files. And that's basically how the new file management works. We think it's much simplified, and I, at least for my firm, like the functionality of being able to move between projects from the client screen. The final thing I want to show you are the changes to invoicing. So to do that, I'm going to go back to Daddy Shark again. And I'm going to go to the Invoices tab. And I'd like you to take a little look here at the grid that we have. And the point I want to make, and I'm going to go to a project shortly, is that we have made the grid consistent between the client invoice tab as well as the project invoice tab. And one of the things we have added is we have added the ability to delete an invoice. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to drag an invoice in here. And if I want to delete it, click in the checkbox and click the delete invoice and off it goes. Okay. Next, I'll go to a project screen and I'm going to open that in a new window. I'm going to call up the 2019 tax return again for Daddy Shark. And the point I want to make is that the invoice grid is now the same as it was in the past. And you can actually see the deleted invoice that I had in here. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we'll be covering the client portal changes in a separate video that you can share with your clients as well as the staff. We're also already hard at work on the next release of Clarity Practice Management. If you have suggestions for enhancements, please add a tech support ticket for new features. Thank you very much for watching.